Good morning, everybody. My name's Dave Lynch. I'm the city manager here in Newton Falls, and this is our regular morning briefing regarding the COVID-19 era here in Newton Falls, Ohio. We do this every morning. It's about a 15-minute broadcast at around 7:30, give or take a moment or two, to talk about what's happening on a local basis regarding the coronavirus. We want you to pay attention to the Governor Dr. Acton's press conferences that are held during the week around 2 o'clock, mostly on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and also what's coming out of Washington in terms of the federal authorities, especially Dr. Fauci from the Presidential Task Force. But we do want folks to know what's going on in Newton Falls on a local basis. Yesterday was a program with a lot of eye-opening information. And what was exciting about it is that it got a lot of attention. We normally get about 1,500 viewers throughout the course of an entire day. Obviously, this thing becomes archived and available to viewers all day long. And by the end of the day, about 1,500 viewers. And yesterday's broadcast brought in well over 4,500 viewers. And one of the things that happened during that broadcast is we received a lot of information that sort of clarified and or really created a contrast with some of the information that we've talked about before. Information is power. And so if we present somebody with an alternate viewpoint, that doesn't mean that we're trying to create confusion. We're trying to create information so that you can make your own decisions. And so there were a number of comments that said, well, I guess when Mr. Lynch told us to wear masks, that's not true anymore. I'm so confused. Well, first of all, those that say that they're confused, I'm not necessarily buying that, because you folks in Newton Falls are intelligent people. You can tell when new information comes up. If you're driving down the road, you're intelligent people. If you see a roadblock in the road, you don't get confused. You figure out another way to get to your destination. Well, it's that way with information and making decisions as well. So we've seen that there's a lot more information, and we need to, and our government needs to, approach that information by adjusting. One of the best coaches the Browns had was a guy named Marty Schottenheimer. And while at the end of the game clock, he had difficulty managing it, one of the good things he did, he was called the king of the halftime adjustment. And what it meant that if he was losing the game during the first half, he made adjustments and then oftentimes prevailed because of those adjustments when he got into the second half. Well, folks, as it comes to the coronavirus, we're now getting into the second half, hopefully. And you're entitled to hear the information that Jack Windsor has brought out, telling us where maybe some of the data that our higher levels of government have relied on, it may not have been as accurate as they thought. And giving them the benefit of the doubt, we as citizens have the right to make some decisions. Personally, I think the masks are a great thing as a barrier. There has been some information indicating that the mask itself can cause difficulty for some individuals as they wear them. And for those people, maybe you shouldn't wear the mask because the difficulty that it causes for your own problems, asthmatics, people with other respiratory issues, maybe they can't wear that mask. But generally speaking, it's only common sense that a barrier between your nose and mouth and somebody else's nose and mouth will help diminish the chances that those small molecular particles of the virus can go from one person to another. So folks, use some common sense. You are smart people. And I'm not going to deny you access to information that comes to my attention simply by virtue of the fact that there's a concern you might be confused. If it comes to actual medical decisions, you got access to your own doctor and you can make some of those decisions. Well, this morning I am excited because as we've been talking to businesses and the way that they operate here in Newton Falls, we've had the opportunity to see methods businesses are using. Some want to wait a little bit longer. For example, Big D's, an outstanding restaurateur, Big D's Grill, is waiting a much longer period of time to have his operation up and running in terms of serving people for dining capacity. On the other hand, Robbie Lee's has made significant changes, and they are serving people for dine-in right now, as well as participating in a big takeout kind of trade. The point is, different businesses handle things in a different way, and because of these broadcasts, you get access to information in the way they are operating. And one of the things we've been talking about is how organizations operate. We've talked to the different vets clubs and to some of the other organizations. And on the live line now, somebody I've really wanted to talk to, because she is the head of the Newton Falls Youth Soccer League. And I wanted to chat with her a little bit about how soccer is being affected. So on our live line is the head of the Newton Falls Youth Soccer League, Cassie Gant. Good morning, Cassie. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. I'm doing great. How are you?
Great. Thanks for coming on the line on this early morning.
Absolutely.
Well, athletics in general have kind of had a damper put on them during this COVID-19 activity. What's going on with Newton Falls Youth Soccer, and how are you dealing with it?
Well, we're kind of at an impasse right now because we still haven't received a lot of good information on how we are to proceed moving forward from the governor. So we're not really sure where to go moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say I spoke with some of the other league representatives from our surrounding communities, and I know that there are several communities that actually have already made the decision to cancel their seasons entirely, but we have not decided that yet in Newton Falls.
Well, I'm actually kind of glad to hear that because, for example, I've been following some of the things coming out of Columbus and speaking to the health department. Sometime in early June, some of the softball leagues are getting ready to start up again. And I am optimistic that sometime between now and early June, that is the next few days, more information will come out because as I saw the governor talk about non-contact sports, soccer can be played in a way that you're not necessarily bumping into each other in a heavy physical contact kind of way. Would you agree with that?
I do. I mean, it might be difficult for our younger age groups because we like to say that they play beehive soccer because they don't quite understand the rules yet. So they all see the ball and they go and chase it.
Yeah.
So it might be a little more difficult for us to implement something of that nature for the younger children. But certainly for the older children, we would be able to, kind of make some changes to make sure that we were able to abide by the rules and, do whatever we need to do to make sure that we can keep all of the kids safe and even keep the parents safe on the sidelines.
Yeah, that's right. Well, more and more, Cassie, it's looking to me like the new protocols are going to be, because of what we've learned from the data, that it's focused on really senior citizens. And I don't mean just senior citizens, but I'll call them uber senior citizens, people age 79 and higher. Keep them home, let them see the video after the game. But as we move into the era when we isolate older folks and let people that are less susceptible get back to more normal life, I think essentially, although I hate the concept in general, in order to get soccer going again, a grandparent-free observed soccer might be the kind of thing we organize this summer.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Although, I do think that is kind of sad for these children's families that they may or may not be able to be there to watch them play live, because I know it's exciting. It might be something that we have to look into.
Yeah. Well,
to, keep them home, to keep them safe.
Yeah, that's right. And by the way, just sort of a general accolade to you and your organization. Youth soccer, in my opinion, it's sort of become the universal sport. And all I mean by that is it usually is a child's first entree into the world of organized physical activity because, baseball's not complicated, but it does involve the concept of certain developed skills. Whereas with soccer, see the ball, chase the ball is you called it beehive soccer. It's a
Yes.
pretty straightforward concept, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah. And Newton Falls Youth Soccer has really been something with a high level of participation, hasn't it been, Cassie?
It has been. We've seen our numbers increase over the last 4 or 5 years. We're definitely getting more younger kids coming in. We have seen an increase in the numbers in our youngest age group, which is wonderful. And we've definitely seen, a pretty even keel with the older age groups as well.
Well, Cassie, you've got my cell phone number now. I want you to make sure you reach out to me in the next few days to see what we in the city can do to help interface with the health authorities to see how you can get going again. I talk to them on a daily basis. And in addition to that, although the city's resources have been dampened in a very significant way by the COVID-19 diminishing payroll throughout Newton Falls, we want to see what we can do to help. So please make sure you stay in touch with my office during these next few days.
Absolutely. I greatly appreciate that.
Cassie, before we go also, two things I want to ask you. Generally, the locations are those fields off of Milton, and do you have any other fields that you play on?
Well, we are kind of going back and forth between playing back at the park again or playing behind the old Catholic school.
Sure.
So if we are able to, we would love to go back to playing behind the old Catholic school. We could fit all of the fields over there so that all of the parents with multiple children in different age groups, they would be able to see, hopefully, each of their children if they were to have a game coinciding at the same time.
Right. That's the old St. Mary and St. Joseph Catholic School on Milton, really not very far from where the high school is located. And Cassie, on that topic as well, stay in touch with me so I can help. I know we've got some issues we need to resolve in terms of making sure the grass is cut and the fields are lined. But I think those are relatively small hurdles. So please stay in touch with our office in that regard. The other thing we wanted to do is make sure people could contact you, that as things get geared up again, they can reach you. And I understand it's the email address is nfysl44444@gmail.com, which stands for Newton Falls Youth Soccer League. And of course, our zip code at gmail.com. And folks, it's on the screen right now. And Cassie, you check that email on a regular basis, right?
Yes, we do check it regularly.
That is outstanding. Well, our hats off to you for keeping the fire burning of youth soccer here in Newton Falls during this difficult time. We'll do everything we can to help. Stay in touch, and thanks so much for being the representative that we so badly need to keep things organized here in Newton Falls when it comes to soccer. Cassie, have a great weekend, and peace and good health to you and your family.
Thank you so much, and the same to you.
All right. That was Cassie Gant, and she is the queen of youth soccer. And as I was mentioning before, youth soccer is the what I would basically say it's the gateway into organized physical activity for most kids. I mean, you can take a 2-year-old, if you're old enough to walk, you're old enough to put on a pair of shorts and chase after that ball. But as she mentioned, the social distancing issues, getting kids 5 and under, or even 6 and under, to understand social distancing when you've already told them to go chase the ball is difficult. Well, right now we are bringing on another one of our business operators, an entrepreneur. We're excited, from Tiger Den Pizza. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, Nicole Brewer. Is that you?
It is.
Wonderful. Folks, we have Nicole Brewer on the line. She is the owner-operator of Tiger Den Pizza, a place with great food and also a place with a great heart, because they've done so much to donate to different programs around town. But before we get to that, we want to talk to Nicole How are you at Tiger Den Pizza dealing with the coronavirus era?
Well, I mean, we had to make a few changes as far as like contact delivery. Sorry. We offer that. We've continued to offer curbside pickup. We've offered that previously. For whatever reason, somebody couldn't make it into the store, whether it be a mom with a bunch of kids or, anything to kind of accommodate people. The inside of the store was constantly clean. The lobby's kept clean. The counters are wiped down. Sanitizing, hand washing, the usual.
Yeah. You never thought you'd go through so much sanitization as you have in the last few weeks, huh, Nicole?
I don't know, man. I got 4 kids. I do a lot of cleaning.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and the pizza over there is great pizza. People have appreciated it for a long time. And you've always inserted yourself into the community, Nicole. Talk about the organizations you've helped. It's funny, helping the world through pizza. It might also be your motto, huh, Nicole?
Well, I don't know. We just like to help where we can. You see somebody to help. That's what this town does.
Yeah.
We all pull together when somebody needs something, and I don't feel like it's necessarily going out of my way. I just feel like it's being part of the community.
Well, I realize that, but it does cost money, and you're being somewhat unwilling to take credit. But the fact is that there have been a number of occasions where a football team or a basketball team or some kind of organized youth organization suddenly has pizza showing up. And it's because of the good graces of Tiger Den Pizza. You've done that a lot, haven't you, Nicole?
We try. We try. Our kids are involved in a lot of stuff, and, it's nice to have that.
Yeah. Well, I know they've appreciated it. The other thing is something about showing up to some particular organized meeting or something. It's just a meeting. You add pizza, and now it's a party. That's right. It's really unique what you've been doing around town, and I know that they appreciate it. And the other thing I think people don't realize about the kindness and charity of Tiger Den Pizza is that you've also got involved in helping supplement the lunch program over at the schools, where there are kids that for one reason or another their parents haven't paid their lunch dues or they don't have enough money for lunch, and rather than have that kid embarrassed because they can't participate over in the cafeteria, in the background you've gotten involved in making sure those kids were taken care of, haven't you?
Yeah, we've done a little things here and there, making sure that everybody's taken care of.
Yeah, Nicole, you got to give me some details, young lady. That's how the interview works. I ask a question, you give details.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we don't want any kids left out. The kids of the community are they're important, so we got to take care of them. We don't want anybody to go without. We don't want anything. We just want to make sure it was good across the board. Everybody goes, gets their lunches, and nobody knows any difference. So.
Well, it really is outstanding. Well, let's talk about the great purveyors of foodstuffs that you are. It's not just pizza. My recollection is you've got a calzone, which is about the size of an entire loaf of bread. Tell us about that.
We have them listed as strombolis on the menu.
Strombolis, yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can do any specialty pizza in them. They're pretty
good. Well, just tell people what a stromboli is. Details, Nicole, details.
Well, it's going to be about the size of a small pizza, maybe in between a small and a medium pizza. Fold it in half, and you can stuff it with whatever you want, any kind of sauce you want, any kind of pizza you want. And I was going to say, like, a 2-topping is like $5.49, and any of our specialty pizzas are $6.99.
Yeah.
So you can put any of those into those, and it's like a big, heavy-duty sandwich.
Yeah, a big and heavy-duty is the description. I had one for lunch not that long ago, and I couldn't finish it. So it's if you think that you're going to get stranded somewhere, throw a few of those in the freezer, and it'll get you through a crisis because there's a lot of nutrition in it as well. Besides the pizza and the strombolis, you have other things on your menu as well, don't you?
Yeah, we offer We actually started cannolis, and I have those
Oh.
shipped in from New York. So those are the good ones.
Now that's Italian.
Yeah. Everybody's like, what are cannolis? I'm like, oh, try them.
Yeah.
We have boneless wings. We offer wedges, deluxe wedges, salads, a bunch of different salads. Breadsticks, cheesy bread, cheddar cheesy bread, cinnamon sticks, a little bit of everything.
Well, the purpose of the interview was to talk about how you're dealing with the coronavirus. So the real question is Tiger Den Pizza, through all these methods, the touchless delivery, the pickups out in the parking lot, are you able to financially survive until everything opens up entirely?
You know what? We have been extremely blessed to be a part of this community. Like I said before, everybody pulls together to help each other, and our customers have been absolutely amazing. We are so busy that we are so tired, but we are so appreciative. You know what I mean?
I bet. Well, maybe that's a good tired. So in other words,
It is.
when I'm reading between the lines, you are saying that, yes, the coronavirus era is tough, but your customers have supported you to the point where you think you're going to be able to make it through okay.
Absolutely. Yep, we're all going to make it through. We all help each other. We'll all get through it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's kind of exciting and uplifting to hear. We've talked to a lot of businesses in town that have figured out a way either through new techniques, which partially you are doing, or because the community has sort of rallied to itself and to the businesses that are smaller enterprises have figured out a way to survive. And we appreciate the fact that you and your family have thrown down a flag of community here in Newton Falls, and just the fact that what you do to stay open helps us generally in this community. So on behalf of Newton Falls, we thank you so much, Nicole.
Oh, we thank you guys. We love Newton Falls. It's our home. Everybody take care of everybody.
Well, that's outstanding. Well, listen, good luck as things continue to open up more, and most especially good health to you and your family, Nicole. Thanks so much. And the Tiger Den Pizza number is 330-872-5577. So call that number, folks. Have lunch today at the Tiger Den Pizza, and then have dinner tonight through the Tiger Den Pizza. And believe me, what you get back isn't just the good food, it's the goodwill of Nicole Brewer and her family supporting our community at Tiger Den Pizza. All right, good health, and have a great weekend. Thanks so much, Nicole.
Same to you, Mr. Lynch.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
take care. Mr. Lynch, man, she's making me feel old. Remember, the city manager serves you. So call me anytime. We have masks if you want them, as we've been talking about it. And we have some new programs coming up we'll be announcing in the next few days. But to reach the city manager's office is 330-872-0806. And you could talk to me personally. In fact, I'd like you to do that. That is certainly easier to allow me to deal with information directly as opposed to just making a Facebook post. Because you might make a Facebook post that has wrong information in it. And frequently I see someone do a Facebook post, I wonder what the city manager thinks about this. I wonder what the city manager thinks about that. If you really want to know, call me up. 330-872-0806. We want to remain accessible to you personally, and it's easy to do. Or you can send me an email at davidmlynchnf@gmail.com. David M. Lynch, nf@gmail.com. Well, folks, there's the end of another exciting episode of the Newton Falls Morning Briefing regarding the coronavirus. As I always say, stay close to your Heavenly Father. He will respond. Sometimes in your very darkest moments, when you feel alone and dealing with issues in your family, regardless of financial, relationship issues, things that weigh heavy on your heart. You know the story of the footprints in the sand. When you saw only one set of footprints left in the sand, that wasn't because God left you, it's because He carried you on His shoulder. and he'll do that if you ask him. Well, wear the mask, folks. It's a barrier, and as I say at the end of every broadcast, God bless America, and God bless the city of Newton Falls.